Chapter 5. That's a path he'd rather not travel. The last time he'd seen his family was last Christmas, and he'd planned to make amends. Then he disappeared. Did they know he was gone? "So how are you doing?" Mercy raised her eyes to meet his. His change of subject hadn't fooled her. "As you can see, I'm doing well." The wall came down. "I thought you might have wanted to see the doctor, that the shirts were just a convenient reason to go there today." "Why, so I could be denounced to the entire village as a girl no better than a wharf cat?" His stomach coiled as rage resurfaced. Would they do that? "I'm an unmarried woman, Mr. Tyler. My virtue is—" Her voice faded into the cold hearth. Gone. Scenes from period dramas paled to what he began to understand would be her fate. This village, a crowded place compared to the Yorktown of his time, was tightly interwoven. She could not be a seamstress and a farm all at the same time. She was dependent on the market to provide what she could not grow, and she knew the growers. At his grocery store he was anonymous. They couldn't keep food from him because they didn't like him, and if by some odd chance he did get barred from the local shop, he could go to another. "Will you have to leave here?" "I don't know yet." "When will you—" His face flamed. He'd nearly asked her the unaskable. "Sorry." Mercy turned her gaze back to the garment she crafted. "You're very brave," he said. "I am not." "In my time, we have lots of doctors. Doctors for every kind of ailment. Even doctors just to talk to you when something like this—" He gestured. "Talk?" "Yes, I think the idea is that victims can let out their feelings." "And they have time for this?" "They make time." "It's someone, I don't know, someone that believes in them. Somebody that knows it wasn't their fault. So you know you're not alone." His words struck Mercy like a leather strap to the backside. Garrett had done that, and she did feel better knowing that at least one person in the world knew that she'd not enticed that man. She'd never seen him before. Had she told Garrett that? So much was still in confusion. Not the incident. She remembered every detail of everything that happened while under the hands of that fetid beast. Every strangled breath. But since then, things had floated a bit. Garrett hadn't moved. "I have ye." He smiled at her then, a warm smile of gratitude. It hadn't occurred to her that he cared that he'd made a difference in what had happened to her that day. Why should he? "I wish to tell ye—" She hesitated. He would understand. All he'd said just let her know. Yet the words caught on a dry patch in her throat. "I wish to tell ye that I'd never seen the man before that night. I did nothing." He reached for her hand. She retreated into the folds of the shirt. "I was walking home from a delivery. I don't usually deliver at night." She let out a dry chuckle. "It isn't safe. My mother would never allow me on the streets that late. My father—" She turned her gaze to her lap, needle pinched between fingers of her right hand, left hand balled into the shirt. Heavens! If my father caught the man, it is possible that my father would have made the beast marry me. Garrett rose to his feet with a growl. Mercy held up her left hand, still balled in the shirt, for silence. "I'd never seen him before. He grabbed me and threw me against the wall. I tried to fight him, but I—" Garrett knelt before her. He took her hands in his before she could pull back. "It wasn't your fault." Warm hands covered her own. The weight of guilt lifted. Anger filled the void. She searched his eyes. Amber flecks in his brown eyes glowed sincere in the candlelight. "If there's a babe, I'll have to leave." "I'll go with you." Tears blurred her vision of him. "My parents died a year ago. They left me a successful business." She waved around the room. "This house, all of this, it's my home. I have no wish to leave. And all of that taken from me without so much as a by your leave. Rage stiffened her out of the chair. The storm raged outside, and she raged at Garrett. He stood when she did and accepted her blows. Not fair, right fist. How dare he? Screamed the left fist. For what? A minute's filthy pleasure? She'd waited for her marriage bed. She'd planned someday to have children of her own, those of her husband whom she would choose, all ruined. Tainted. She could never come to her husband's bed clean. Would she ever have a husband now? No one would want her. Her bluster faded. Forehead on his chest, tears soaked his shirt. His hands slid up and down from shoulders to waist. Peace calmed the remains of her tantrum. Mercy leaned back to get a look at his face. Trouble muddied the usually clear brown eyes. Mercy took a discreet step back. An apology came to her lips, but the look in his eyes kept her quiet. It was a gift, his gift to her, that he understood. A smile replaced the apology. I'm nearly done with another of Papa's shirts for you, Mr. Tyler. Call me Garrett. Presumptuous in normal circumstances, she supposed it made sense. After all they'd been through, though only in a couple of days, their circumstances were hardly normal. Then ye must call me Mercy. They resumed their seats on opposite sides of the cold hearth. Garrett shifted in his chair. Mercy, once she'd found her place with her needle, gazed up to find him waiting. One more question. She waited. Do you want me to find him? We could bring him to the magistrate. Dread welled up and curdled her stomach. No. I will protect you. You've nothing to fear. No. Will you tell me why? She sunk her needle into the seam. Tell me of the future. His lips compressed into thin lines, losing the soft, generous smile. He didn't like it. She didn't quite understand her answer herself. When she did, she'd share it with him. What do you want to know? I don't know enough to ask questions. Tell me, how are we different? So much has happened. His voice filled with wonder. He shook his head. How will Max take it all in? What things? Well, electric power, we've talked about that already. But, like, everyday society is so different. It's not so formal, for one thing. We don't dress in suits every day. Well, some do. He jumped up and paced. Women wear pants, even yoga pants. Yoga pants? Like breeches, only very tight, snug-fitting. He ran his hands in parallel in front of him. A lot of women work. They are doctors and lawyers. They go to college and become whatever they want. Who raises the children? Their parents do, but there are daycares and... Pounding thuds vibrated through the house. Back door. When Mercy arrived there, Garrett pushed her behind him. He turned the knob, and Thomas fell into the room. Mercy? His eyes assessed the room and the two before him. I see you are faring well in this deluge. His tone belied his misunderstanding. His daughter and mother dripped beside him. As ye see, it remains dry in my house, but not for long if we keep the door open. Mercy glanced at Garrett, hoping he'd understand her warning to say nothing. Come in, Mrs. Hopewell. We're flooded. House nearly floating away, Mercy. 'Tis a mercy your house is standing strong. Mrs. Hopewell unwrapped a soaked woolen shawl from her rigid shoulders while assessing her surroundings. Mercy wondered, not for the first time, if Mrs. Hopewell's rigidity left her with no need for stays. I see you've kept Miranda's standards. Mercy struggled between pride and outrage. Perhaps it's time we made a fire. The storm still rages. We will wait for a fire, Thomas pronounced. Mercy bristled. Evelyn must be relieved of her wet things. Mercy put her arm around the child, barely containing her shivers. Thomas's countenance softened toward his daughter. I would be grateful for anything you have for her. My mother is right. The house is flooded. We left before the worst could happen. I shall return momentarily. She walked Evelyn upstairs to her room, praying that Garrett wouldn't say more than absolutely necessary.